All right, welcome everybody. We are diving deep today into one specific passage, actually.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah, it is. We are tackling James chapter 3 from the Bible. But, don't worry, even if, that's not usually your thing.
Right.
This stuff is about the power of words, like all kinds of words.
Oh, absolutely. And how we use them.
Exactly, for good or bad. It's surprisingly relevant, even if you're not religious.
Right. From the very first verse, it's like James knew how obsessed we'd be with influencing each other.
Oh, tell me about it. Everyone's got to have their hot take these days. But okay, so opening lines, James warns against too many people becoming teachers. Why is that? What's the big deal with, too many teachers?
Well, he says they'll be judged more strictly, right? And it's like, wait, shouldn't we want people to share what they know?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But I think what he's getting at is the responsibility that comes with teaching, even if you're not standing in front of a classroom.
Okay, so more than just formal teaching.
Way more. Anytime you give advice, or even just share your opinion online.
Oh, I see what you mean.
You're kind of shaping someone else's perspective. So James is saying, be careful with that.
Oof, yeah. I feel like I need to reread all my old social media posts now. Whoa, the weight of our words, right?
Totally. He's pushing us to be mindful, to recognize that influence comes with accountability.
Oh, yeah.
So how does that hit you, knowing that even casual conversations can have an effect?
It's a little intimidating.
Yeah.
But also kind of exciting. Wow, our words have real power.
Right. And he really drives that home with some super vivid imagery.
Oh, yeah, the bit about the horse and the rudder, right.
Exactly. He compares the tongue to a bit that controls a whole horse, or a rudder that steers a massive ship.
Which feels a little dramatic, right? I mean, it's just talking.
Yeah, but that's the point. He's showing us how something small can have huge influence.
Okay, so the tongue, small but mighty.
Exactly. Tiny but mighty. Think about a ship. The rudder is tiny compared to the whole thing.
Right. But it determines the direction the whole ship goes.
Oh, wow. So our words can be like that. Steering our lives, basically.
Totally. Our relationships, our choices, even our whole life's trajectory can be shaped by what we say and what we hear.
And it makes you think, how often are we just running our mouths without even thinking?
Right. And then there's the flip side. The potential for harm. James doesn't hold back there either.
He gets pretty intense. All that stuff about fire and poison.
He's not messing around. World of wrongdoing pollutes. Deadly poison.
Yeah. Makes you think twice about gossiping or, just being mean.
I think that's the point. He's trying to shock us into realizing how destructive careless speech can be. He wants us to feel it. This isn't just, words can hurt your feelings. He's comparing it to actual fire, actual poison, things that leave lasting damage.
Intense stuff. But then he throws in this curveball. He says the same mouth that blesses God can curse people made in God's image. How does that even work? The same source for good and bad. Well, think about it. We as humans, we contain multitudes. We are capable of such good.
True.
But also, not so good.
Yeah. And it all comes out in how we talk to each other, huh?
I think so, yeah. But by specifically mentioning cursing people made in God's image, James is making a bigger point too. Every person has inherent worth, so tearing someone down with our words is even worse.
Right. Okay, heavy stuff. So then he goes on to talk about springs, fig trees, vines. Where did that come from?
It's like he's saying, look, nature has laws, right?
Right.
A spring can't produce both fresh water and salt water at the same time.
Makes sense.
So how can we expect our words to be all over the place, spewing kindness one minute and cruelty the next?
Oh, so he's calling for consistency.
Yeah.
What we say should match who we are deep down.
Exactly. Authenticity. Our words should reflect a true inner state,
Makes total sense. But man, it's hard sometimes, right?
It is. But then he lays out this contrast between true wisdom and what he calls earthly or demonic wisdom. And that's where things get really practical, I think.
Okay, so break it down for me. What's the difference?
Well, true wisdom, according to James, isn't just about knowing a bunch of stuff. It's about how you live.
So actions speak louder than words.
Kinda, yeah. He's saying true wisdom shows itself in good conduct, gentleness, peacemaking, being fair,
And the opposite, the not-so-wise way.
That's all rooted in selfish ambition, jealousy, just general chaos.
Ugh, yeah, we've all seen that play out. So for someone listening who's all right, I want more of that true wisdom, what's a good first step?
Awareness, I think. Like, just start paying attention to what you're saying and how you're saying it.
Yeah, and how it makes other people feel too. Catch yourself before you say something you'll regret.
Exactly. It's a process. Nobody's perfect, but just that little bit of awareness can make the big difference.
It's a journey, right? But a worthwhile one, I think. If we can all try to use our words for good to build each other up.
Imagine what kind of world we could create.
Right. So if you're listening, I'll leave you with this. If your words were put on trial, what would the verdict be? Something to think about. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
See you next time.